Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today it is the start of a new month, but it's also the start of a new quarter of the year. So we are going to be updating my project pan, but also winding it up for this quarter. In case you don't know my project pan, I have a full selection of products from a full face of makeup, hair care, body care, skincare, and I try and use them up as much as possible for 3 months, and I give you monthly updates, and then at the end of the 3 months I'm wrapping it all up and picking a whole new set of products, and then I'll keep them for another 3 months. I will do that again, and then for the final 3 months of the year I bring all the products back and try and use them up as much as possible so that I can finish more products this year. I am following a project pan which is led by Hailey O. I will leave her channel link down below. It's her project pan, I didn't create it. If you're interested in seeing it, her channel is amazing, I absolutely love it, and it'll be in the description box. In today's video I will be letting you know how much progress I've made over the first 3 months of the year on the products that I selected. We're mainly going to be looking at their start weight and their end weight for the 3 months and how many times I've used it over the 3 months. And it's going to be sort of a conclusion, how I'm feeling going into the next 3 months. And then my next video is going to be me repicking my new products for my next 3 months. And then the video after that will be an update on my other project pan, which is purely eyeshadow based. I have 5 eyeshadow palettes that I'm trying to use up this year, and I'll give you an update on how that one's going. So those are the next few videos. I'm sorry that they're all project pan related. If you're not into project panning, I understand, but the next couple of videos probably aren't going to be for you. But if you are into project panning, I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. But other than that, I will let you enjoy the video. So we might as well start with makeup, as I have it on my face. This is a full face of my project pan makeup. I didn't film it or anything, I just chucked it on this morning. This eye came out better, so just focus on this on. But let's make a start. Primer, the I Heart Revolution Strawberry Whip Pore Blurring Primer with vitamin C and E. This month I've used it 10 times and the current weight is 26.1 grams, and it started way back in January at 31.77. So that's about 5.5 grams worth of use. Over the 3 months I've used it 29 times, which I think is pretty good. I'm a little bit disappointed that I wasn't able to finish it up. There is still product in here and still a fair amount, to be honest. I think that I will continue to use this product. I'm not going to declutter it. I actually don't mind it. When I started, it wasn't my favourite. Foundation. Now, the Revlon Colourstay for combination to oily skin in the shade 150 Buff. This is done. This is finished. I completed it. Tick for me. Honestly, like, there's probably the tiniest amount at the bottom. I did end up like unscrewing the cap and trying to pour it onto my sponge. Not a lot came out. You can't pump it out anymore. I'm counting this as done. I used it 3 times this month before it was finished, but in total over the 3 months I've used it 21 times. It was close to being finished when we started, that's why I picked it. But yeah, this is completely finished and I'm so proud of myself. It's been a while since I've finished a foundation. Concealers, the Revolution Conceal and Defines. I have a super size in shade C1 and C2, and I have a normal size in shade C1. The super sizes are completely done. C1 got finished up pretty quickly after my last update, and C2 I pretty much finished up today. I used it on my face, but I was having to like scrape around it quite a lot. I can't get any more out of this. I'm just going to call it done. This one still has a little bit of life left in it, and I weighed this one by itself and its current weight is 27.28. However, that's not really useful information because I started by weighing all 3 together, so their starting weight is 75 grams, but it's not like I've used 50 grams worth of product. A lot of it is the fact that I haven't weighed the packaging. Last month I've used them 22 times, and in total over the 3 months I've used them 50 times. That's pretty good. Powder. We all know how much I've struggled with this powder. It is the Revolution Translucent Loose Baking Powder. Its current weight is 33.87. I've used it 11 times this month and 31 times in total, which is pretty good. If I put it on its side, I feel like you can see a bit better. It's sort of down to about here, which realistically isn't a lot of progress, but when we started there was like no gap. And roughly just under 2 grams worth of usage over 3 months, which isn't great, but I am learning that powder's just quite difficult to use up, and I do quite like this one. Another very frustrating product, the MUA Blush Matte Powder in the shade Rose Tea. It still has the embossing. You can still see that flower. I don't know whether I'll ever be able to finish this blush up, but I've given it a good go. This month I've used it 8 times, and in total I've used it 23 times. Its current weight is 41.86 and it started at 42.17. Just over a gram worth of use isn't the best, but I really dig at this. Like, I don't know how well you can tell because I know that the camera sort of washes me out a bit, but I do put a lot of this stuff on and it does look like it's wearing down, but it's just not. Bronzer, the Revolution Ultra Sculpt and Contour Kit. This one has been easy to use, I have enjoyed using it, but it's frustrating because there is such a heavy dent in this pan, but no pan, which is very frustrating, but I feel like by the time this comes back into the project at the end of the year, I might have hit pan on it because I do enjoy this product and I will continue to reach for it every now and then. I have found more bronzers that I really enjoy recently, but this is a staple in my collection. I've had it for so long. I have hit pan on this before. I have had one of these before and I completely used up the bronzer. So I know I do like it, and I've used the blush a few times. In the past month, I've used the bronzer 9 times and the blush 3 times. And in total, over the 3 months, I've used the bronzer 27 times and the blush 12 times. The current weight is 52.62 and it started at 53, which is not a lot. Highlighter, the Revolution X Soft Highlighting Palette, 8 shades. I did already hit pan on this shade, which we saw in my last update, and this shade up here is so heavily dented, it's very frustrating because if you look at how dented it is, it looks to be very similar to the peach shade, which has pan, so I feel like it's so close to hitting pan. I also have quite a heavy dent in this pink shade, which I love using. I use this quite often. In total, and I just want to remind you, one use counts as 1 shade. So if I use the white shade and the gold shade together, that's 2 uses. So the usage for this is going to be so much higher, but it's just because sometimes I use 2 or 3 shades. For this month, I've used it 24 times. In total, over the 3 months, I've used it 70 times. The current weight is 21.55 and it started at 21.96, which isn't a lot, again, about half a gram-ish. But I did hit pan and I'm very proud of myself for that. Brow gel, another kind of frustrating one, not because it's difficult to use, it's just when I put a brow gel into my project pan, I kind of didn't realise how little you use in one go. Like, it's just one dip and then you can do both your brows with it. I've used it 14 times this month, 41 times in total, and the current weight is 13.15 and it started at 13.5. Again, that's not a lot of use, but I feel like brow gel is one of those things that just goes down slowly because of how little you're using of it. Okay, and this is where my scale started to sort of mess up a bit. I'm not really sure what happened, but for some products, the weight stayed the same even though I've used it. So I think what happened was last time I weighed my products, it didn't weigh them properly and it had the weight listed as lower than it actually was. So for example, my brow pencil, which I've used 9 times this month, and I used it 9 times last month, but it hasn't gone down at all this month. It stayed at 4.02. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but I have used it 9 times. I've got it on today. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on how much weight I've used on this. It's not a lot, but it has gone down, and I think most of the weight in this will be the packaging anyway, so I'm not too bothered by it. But yeah, not too bad. In total, I've used it 34 times, in case I didn't say that. Eye primer, the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Again, I'm kind of annoyed that I've not used this up. It is close to being finished. Like, there's air in there as well, but there's not a lot left in there. The only problem is you only need a super small amount when you're doing your eyes. I've used this 12 times this month and I've used it 37 times in total. The current weight is 5.65 grams and it started at 6.76. So that's like a gram worth of use, which is pretty good considering how small it is anyway. I think maybe this could be used up before October. But I do have other eye primers that I prefer to choose, and I do have another eye primer in my repick. So maybe, maybe not, we'll see. Eyeshadow palette. Now, you guys know, I tried with this one, probably didn't try hard enough, and I haven't hit any pan. I'm not gonna lie, I did this eye look, I was really digging at this gold shade and this pink shade because they have heavy dents. Nothing, no pan whatsoever. I have really enjoyed using this palette. I've used it 7 times in the last month and 15 times in total, which doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously working from home most of the last 3 months, haven't really needed to do eye makeup, haven't really needed to do makeup in general, but I have been trying more to do my eye makeup and to do my makeup in general. I'd say in my last project pan update that I was a bit concerned about having an eyeshadow palette in this project and then 5 eyeshadow palettes in my other project, because that's 6 palettes and trying to use 6 palettes is very difficult. And I said I would think about it, and I have been, and I've decided I am going to keep an eyeshadow palette in this project pan. So I do have one in my repick, and I am going to keep 5 in my other project pan. So basically I'm going to keep it the same for this year, but then next year I will have a complete rethink. And I think what I'm going to do is have a wearable everyday palette in my like general project pan, and then have another eyeshadow project pan which is more for bright colourful palettes that I use for Instagram. Hopefully I'm going to put up on screen a zoomed in picture of the palette with a number on each shade. That number indicates how many times I've used that shade over the past 3 months. The current weight for this is 208.2 and it started at 208.8, which is not bad realistically considering I've only used it 15 times. That's not bad at all. Mascara, the Primark False Lash Queen mascara. I love this product. I've used it 14 times this month, 54 times in total, and it still works. There's still product in here. It currently weighs 22.12 and it was at the start 22.83. So that's again about half a gram worth of use. I'm happy this is still in my collection. I will still reach for it. The NYX Epic Incliner I did finish up in my last update, so that's another product that I finished in the 3 months. In the 3 months in total I used it 10 times and then decided I didn't like it anymore and that I didn't want to use it, so I got rid of it. Now on to my lipsticks, and this is where I really started to struggle with my scales. So I'm going to read out the weights, but I don't think they're right. So mainly we're going to be looking at how many times I've used it. That's the main thing really. Starting with my number 7 Stay Perfect in the shade Classic Rose. This is what it's looking like now. It's definitely been worn down, like the shape of it at the top isn't the same as it was. I really like this shade. I've worn it a lot. In the past month I've worn it 6 times. In total I've worn it 17 times. It says that the current weight is 18.52, but that's the same weight it was last month and I've used it 6 times, so it's clearly gone down. But it started at 18.64. Those numbers don't really mean a lot anymore, but I'm happy. The next lipstick is the ABH matte lipstick in the shade Spice. Still quite a lot of product in there, but again, I think it is starting to wear down. It's not quite as slanted as it once was. You know, that indicates a lot, obviously. I used this 4 times in the past month and I've used it 13 times in total. And again, it said it is 18.23 and it started at 18.29. Not a lot of usage. Lipsticks are hard to wear down unless you're wearing them literally all day, every day. And then finally, the lipstick I have on today, the Beauty Bay matte lipstick in Juice. This one hasn't worn down as much and it's been used the least, but it is a red. And 9 times out of 10, if I want to wear a red, I will opt for a liquid lipstick because I don't want it going all over my face. But if I want a red for a video, I do try to reach for this one. I've used it twice this month. I've used it 11 times in total. And this is where it gets confusing because it said that its current weight is 18.33, but last month it was 18.29. Don't know how it's gained weight, so the scales are definitely wrong, but it started at 18.39. Don't really mean a lot, but I mean, the point is not a lot of use, which is fine. I have reached for it, which is all I wanted. so I'm very proud of myself. And then setting spray. I did say in my last update that this was pretty empty. It's now empty. So I used it twice this month before it stopped working. I used it 28 times in total. I haven't weighed it because it's empty and it would literally just be the packaging. I didn't like the smell of this. I still don't. I'm not going to repurchase it. I do have a new setting spray in my repick. Yeah, it's not my favourite. I would happily try more from MUA. Nothing against the brand. It's not put me off them in any way. But this one's just not for me. And personally, I just like to use setting sprays to like rehydrate my like powder products that are on my face. And I feel like a lot of setting sprays can do that. So I don't need to repurchase this one. The only setting spray I really repurchase for like staying power is the Urban Decay All Nighter. Now let's move on to skincare. I promise there is less in these categories than there are in makeup, so this should be a bit quicker. Cleanser, a finished product. This is the Cetaphil or Cetaphil, I don't know how to pronounce it, oily skin cleanser. I used it 18 times this month before it got finished. I used it 92 times in total, which is pretty good. I do like this. I don't think I would repurchase it because I am starting to realise that I do not have oily skin. I have normal to dry skin and I need hydration. So yeah, I wouldn't repurchase this one, but if they have another one, which I'm sure they do, for drier skin, I might test that one out at some point. Toners, I only have one of them here because I completely forgot to pick up the other one. The Milky Tonic I did finish quite a while ago. I used that one 21 times before I used it up, but it was already half used up anyway. The Glow Tonic I finished this month as well. I used it 6 times before I used it up this month, and I used it 35 times in total. And this was the last man standing. There is the smallest amount left in there. I think that's like one more use. So I'm gonna count it as finished, okay? I hope that's okay. I used it 11 times this month, 34 times in total. One more use and it'll be finished. So I am very happy with my progress on these 3. I have got a new toner in my repick. It is just 1 toner, not 3 again. As much as I did enjoy having the choice, I have only chose 1 for the next month. But yeah, really enjoyed these. I have bought another 2 sort of mini trio sets because I enjoyed them so much. So you'll probably see them at some point. But I am proud that I managed to get these 3 used up in 3 months. Pretty good going. My eye cream I completely used up. I completely used it up last time. I used it 105 times in total, so another product finished. Yay. Moisturiser, again, I used them both up. I did have 2 Body Shop moisturisers that I was using. I used them 77 times in total and they were done, so again, more products used up. Yay. Lip balm, and it is used up. That little bit there is plastic. You could scrape out the bit inside. I'm not doing that. I don't care enough to scrape it out at all. I didn't particularly like this. I do think it dries out my lips. I've said that every single time, but I'm so happy it is out of my house. I can throw this out now. I used it 31 times this month before it got used up. I've used this 137 times over 3 months. That is a lot of usage. But yeah, I'm very happy this is out of my collection. Nothing against Vaseline or anything like that. I just didn't particularly like this product. Face mask. The Body Shop Aloe Soothing Rescue Cream Mask. I used this 4 times this month. I really don't use it often enough. And in total I've used it 14 times over the past 3 months. Its current weight is 62.22 and it started at 88.69, which is a lot of usage, and it has definitely gone down. Like, it's like half empty now. I can't really tip it because it's very liquidy, but it's about half empty now, so I'm pretty happy with it. Serum. Now, I did have a different serum in to start with, but I used that one up. That took 32 uses to use up. This one has been in my project pan ever since. I've only used it 5 times this month and I've used it 20 times in total. It started at 71 grams, it's now at 67.61, so about 2.5 grams worth of usage. I had to stop using it completely. I wasn't using it every night because I know that would be a bit much, but I was using it maybe every other night, every few nights, and my skin, I don't think it was just this, I think it was like a mixture of things, but my skin was having none of it. It was so dry. I was getting dry patches everywhere. I still have quite a few dry patches. I have one on my forehead, which I don't think you can really see. I was getting some like round here and like round here, and my skin just, the texture was bad. It just wasn't really working, so I completely toned back my skincare routine. Now on to hair care. We'll start with my hair mask. It looks really terrible because it's been in my shower. This is the Elvive Intensive Purple Mask for anti-brassness. I have quite enjoyed this. It's so nearly done. I don't know how you can see just how close it is to the bottom, but it is very, very nearly done. I've used this 5 times this month and 16 times in total, and its current weight is 77.86, and it started at 200.33, which is a lot of usage. Hair treatment, the Philip Kingsley Elasticizer. I have used up one of these in this project pan. This one I've only used twice. I don't know why. Once I used up the other one, I kind of just forgot to use this one. So I've only used this one twice, but in total I've used this and the other pot 10 times. I did finish one. This one is currently at 158.18 and it started at 186.59. So it has got some use. It does go down pretty quickly because I put it through like the lengths of my hair. It gets used because I have a lot of hair. But yeah, it is really good. It really does help your hair to feel smoother and softer and all those good things. I do really enjoy it. I will continue to use it, but I'm not keeping it in my project pan, if that makes sense. My hair oil, the L'Oreal Elvive Dream Lengths No Haircut Cream. I've used this 5 times this month, 23 times in total. Its current weight is 153.81 and it started at 172.89. I do like this. It's down to about here. You only need a super small amount every single time you use it, and then I just sort of rub it between my hands and pull it through the lengths of my hair when my hair is wet. I do really enjoy this. This is actually staying in my project pan. You'll see when I do my repick on Wednesday, this is staying in. It's going to continue to be used. You're going to keep seeing it. So hopefully you'll continue to see the usage and we will get it used up because it's about, that's about half-ish. So hopefully it'll get used up. The Biolage all-in-one coconut infusion multi-benefit spray. Get your words out, Effie. This is also staying in my project pan because it won't get used if I don't. I've used it 5 times this month, 22 times in total. It's currently 123 grams and it started at 154. I can't read my own writing. It started at 154.71. I don't love this. I prefer using it on wet hair than I do dry hair. It's not as bad in wet hair. Like I said, I just wouldn't really use it if it wasn't in my project pan. So I've decided to keep it in, so you will keep seeing it and seeing my progress with it. And hopefully we can get this used up too. The last category is body care, and we're going to start with moisturiser. I've done pretty well with moisturiser over the last 3 months because this is my 3rd one. I started with the Body Shop Body Butter, used that up. I then went on to the Soap and Glory Righteous Butter, used that up. I'm now on this one. I don't know what this is called. No Bay, I don't know. There's just too many words on the packaging. I have no idea what it is. But I've used this 9 times in the past month. It was at 201.59. It's now at 150.63, which is a decent amount of usage. My boyfriend does help. It's down to about here. I'm not keeping this in my project pan. I'm going to switch it out for a different moisturiser just to mix it up a bit. But my boyfriend will probably continue to use this one because he doesn't care about my project pan like I do. My first scent, and it is the Body Shop Mango Body Mist. There is the smallest amount left, which is super frustrating because I am actually going to remove this from my project pan and bring in a new body mist sort of product. I've used this 14 times this month, 59 times in total. Its current weight is 129.11 and it started at 140.84. Decent amount of usage. I really want to get this used up before October. Perfume, the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau de Toilette. I've used this 22 times this month, which is way more than any other month. I think because I took it to the office and I took it out with me a few times, I used it. I've used it 44 times in total. Its current weight is 235.51 and it was at 252.04. Most of the weight is the packaging. There's still quite a lot left. I really don't like this smell. It's at the point now where I really don't like it. Hand cream is another part of my project I did relatively well on. I did use up my Paul & Joe hand cream and I moved on to my little Hedwig, who I love. This isn't quite empty yet, but it's so close to being empty. If I just, oh, I dropped her on the way over here, and you're probably not going to be able to see because it's all white, but there's not a lot left in there. I've used Hedwig, I think, 68 times. I can't really understand what my notes are trying to tell me, but I think I've used her about 68 times. I used my Paul & Joe one 41 times. The current weight for Hedwig is 51 grams and she started at 85.57. That's a lot, and I've removed her from my project pan. I have a different hand cream in my project pan, but the plan is that hand cream is going to go in my work bag and my gym bag, and I'm going to use it that way. This one is going to stay by the side of my bed. So I can use this one in the evenings or if I'm working from home and get her used up, because I want to empty her so I can keep her, just her, and have her on a shelf and not have to worry about gone off hand cream being in there. And the final product is probably the product I am the most disappointed in myself for. I'm not really disappointed in myself because it doesn't really matter. So I haven't touched this at all this month. I haven't used it, not once. I used it 18 times in total over 3 months. Its current weight is 45.36. It started at 45.63. That's not a lot. You only need a small amount. I always forget to use it. It literally is by the side of my bed. So when I'm in bed before I go to sleep, I should put it on. I just don't. I'm not keeping this in my project pan. I will try to use it as and when I can, but I don't want to like have the project pan pressure on me. And that is everything from my project pan. So I've used up a lot of products in the past 3 months, which I am so proud of myself for. I very rarely use up products before this, like never, because I just switch between everything and I don't stay focused on anything. So I do think the project is definitely helping me stay focused on using products up. And even if I haven't used products up, like my lipsticks for example, I'm still proud of my progress, because if they weren't in my project pan, I wouldn't even touch them. Like I said, I will be repicking a new set of products. It includes a full face, hair care, body care and skincare. That will be coming on Wednesday. Next Saturday will be the update of my palette project pan thing, and at some point this month I will also be putting up a full face using my new project pan makeup, just like I did in January, so I can give you a bit more of an idea of why I'm putting them in my project pan. So if any of that sounds like something you would like to watch, you can hit the subscribe button and you can even turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of the uploads. But other than that, I think I need to go and rest my voice because I've done a lot of talking. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it puts a giant smile on my face, and I put up makeup content twice a week, which who doesn't love makeup content? But other than that, have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!